welcome to today's live. Starshu here. Hope you guys are doing amazing. I am so glad I can be with you tonight, and I hope you've had a great day. Today we are talking about something which is very, very important, which is the mind. I am so excited for what I'm about to share today, and I want you to take a minute, take 30 seconds if you can, and invite someone to today's live. Invite someone to watch with us, to just connect with us as we get ready for 2025. I promise you, I believe 2025 is going to be your best year yet. And when I say your best year yet, it might not be that all the goals you set come to pass, but you might grow so much in 2025 that even the goals are going to be no match for what has happened inside of you. You might hit all your goals that it's like you keep setting new records and new bars for yourself. It could be just that amazing things happen to you, but I want you to look forward to an amazing year 2025, because I believe it. It's going to be amazing for me, for you, for each and every one of us. And that is why I think getting ready is so important. This evening I was just talking with someone, and the person was saying they have printed out the house they want to buy. They have gone through the dreams and everything. They are visualizing it. They've printed all of those things out, and they are going to go paste them in their house. And I was like, yes, you should join my live. You should watch the videos, because that's what we're talking about. 2025 is going to be amazing. It's going to be a time of action. And so the excitement I was getting just really encouraged me to let me know that what we're doing here is amazing. People are getting ready, and you and I are getting ready in the best possible way that we can. So I want us today to take a minute and share this before we get into our conversation. I'm going to do the same. Just take 30 seconds and share. I believe in you. I believe in the things that are going to happen to you. I believe your life is going to take an amazing turn. I can feel it. It's going to be an amazing year. So I don't want anyone in your space to be left behind. No one in your environment should be left behind. So get your family, get your friends, get someone said your enemies, get everyone around you connected to what we are doing here, and let them know that we are getting ready for 2025. I believe great things are in store for 2025. And I know I know we don't want to be long, because we're covering a lot of things generally. I know we don't want to be long. So I'm just going to get into our conversation for today. Guys, this is going to be great. So today I'm talking about the mind, the control center. The mind. I know there's a great book that Joyce Meyer, for those who know her, wrote, and it's called The Battlefield of the Mind, and she documents her story and how she was transformed by the renewing of her mind. And so there has to be transformation that happens in the mind for you to experience the transformation in your life. And so that's why I term to this conversation the mind, the control center. And again, I feel like this is important and rooted in the word. And so I want to read some scriptures today that are going to help for people who are people of faith, for people who do not read the Bible or do not know much about the Bible. You can look up these, but the first scripture that I want to read from the Bible is Proverbs 23, verse 7, and I'll read it from here. It says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. I'll say it again. Proverbs 23, verse 7. For as he thinketh, or as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. That's the first part of that scripture. So the mind is the control center. The mind is the central point of how we act, of how we behave, of the life that we see manifest before our very eyes. And so as we're getting into 2025, as we are preparing, I want you to really be intentional about your mind. Taking control of your mind. It is the command center. It is the wheel. Think about a car. If you're driving a car, what determines the direction that that car is going to go is the wheel. So whichever way you turn it, it's going to go. You turn it left, it's going left. You turn it right, it's going right. So our minds are the wheel of our lives. If you're writing, you write that down. Your mind is the wheel of your life. It's where your thoughts are controlled, where your thoughts emanate from, and your thoughts control your emotions. You might know that, you might not know that, but think about, excuse me, imagine a scenario where you are thinking good thoughts. You would immediately start feeling happy and overjoyed. But think about a scenario where you're not thinking good thoughts. It brings gloom, it brings unhappiness, and all kinds of things that are just not going to be in alignment with what you're thinking. So for us to take control of 2025, we have to control our minds. The mind is very delicate. It can go left to right. 1 minute it can go left, the next minute it can go right. And that's why you have to have a tight rein, a tight grip on your mind, on your thoughts, on the things that you're processing, on the things that you're letting in, on the things that you're staying focused on. So that is one key, one very important key, in addition to what I talked about yesterday, which was committing your ways into the Lord's hands, is controlling your mind. And one thing too that you have to understand is that the Lord can help you to control your mind. You can use the Spirit of God to calm yourself down, your mind down, if it's trying to go out of control. So, because the mind is the control center, there are so many ways that we can take control of the mind, that we can make sure that the mind is in check, that we can make sure that the mind is leading us towards our goals, that the mind is leading us towards the things that we want to see manifest in our lives. So the first thing that I was thinking about when I thought about this is that we have to identify limiting beliefs and thought patterns. So what triggered me to think about this conversation today is that there are some projects that I've been working on, some business projects that I've been working on for some time, say 2 years ago, and I picked up that project again and I started working on that project. Some days I would experience that things are going well with that project, and then some days things are not going well. So today I was thinking about why I'm having the struggle and the inconsistency in my results. And I realized that I am trying to do something new, but I still have the thinking or the thought pattern that is I'm processing things from is the one that I was using 2 years ago when I started this project. And so I am with a new teacher or somebody else who's trying to help me through in this project, and the person is trying to giving me instructions, but I'm processing them from the old frame of mind that I had 2 years ago. And because of that, there is a conflict inside of me where I am still wired from how I was 2 years ago. And now I'm trying to get new information. And so I was thinking about that today. Why is my struggle? Why am I struggling? I'm struggling because I am still framed and wired in my mind where I was 2 years ago on that project. So I began to realize, and I began to tell myself that for me to really excel in what I'm doing, I have to reframe my mind. And that was the beginning point of my thought on today's conversation, is that we have to identify the limiting beliefs. We have to identify the areas where we're facing the challenging. And I've been thinking about this for a while now. And I started on I understood what the issue was. I understood that the challenge is that I am still processing things today, new information from an old lens. I'm still processing new thoughts from an old framework. So that is what triggered me to say, in order for me to be able to process this new information I'm getting, I have to reframe my mind. So, first thing is that you have to identify the limiting beliefs. You have to, secondly, when you identify them, you have to reframe your thought pattern, because there's no way you can reframe, you can handle something that you don't have an understanding of the problem. So having that understanding of the problem is 50% of the solution. So what you and I's challenge is now is, the first thing is that as we are getting into 2025, thinking about the things that limited us, that stopped us from achieving the results that we were doing, or even if we've started working on some of those projects now, looking and seeing the results that we're getting